Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are predicting the 2019 March Madness bracket. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I did this last year, and let me tell you, I picked Virginia to go all the way. The number one overall seed, I picked them to go all the way, and let me tell you how well that went. Oh, let me tell you. They didn't even make it through the first round. In fact, they're the first number one seed ever to lose in the first round, and that was crazy. And let me tell you, I've learned from my lesson. And even though I have learned from my lesson, so therefore I'm not going to pick Duke to win this all, they're 100% winning that game. I do not see any way either of those teams are pulling off an upset. I could be absolutely wrong, but I just don't see Duke losing. I mean, you never know. We've seen many surprises in the past, but you just never know. And so I'm going to call it safe and go with Duke. By the way, I'm telling you guys right now, this whole East bracket, I don't think I'm really going to pick too many upsets, because these first four matchups already don't look like ones I'd want to pick upsets in. But anyway, I jumped into this a little quicker than I imagined. But yeah, I'm not sticking with Virginia this time. I just want to let you guys know that if you want to create your own bracket, I will leave the link for the app, and then I'll leave the link on the ESPN website for you guys to go check out how to make your own bracket. First of all, you're going to need to make your own account, so I'll warn you about that, but then from there you can just create your own bracket. And by the way, guys, I'm gonna make two different brackets. I'm gonna make this one where I just genuinely pick who I think is gonna win it all, and then I'm gonna do a coin flip bracket where it's just up to chance how that will be decided. I'll flip a coin 3 times. Best 2 out of 3 will be who I pick, and of course, the better team will be heads, and then the worst team will be tails, or should I say, the underdogs will be tails. You never know at this tournament. In fact, the way they do the seeding, like, there could be a team with a better record that's actually much lower than the other team. Like, it makes almost no sense, but that's how sometimes you just have to go by that to know how to pick upsets. But yeah. Knowing VCU's previous history in these tournaments, I think I'll take VCU. I trust VCU to win this. I trust that they can beat UCF and not get upset by number 9. But yeah, we got Duke and VCU. Mississippi State, Liberty. I'm picking Mississippi State and Virginia Tech. So, obviously, no upsets yet. I remember last year, 13 was surprisingly, it was a lucky number, because in real life, it's quite the contrary. But in March Madness last year, 13 surprisingly was your lucky number if you were an underdog. Surprisingly. But this year, I don't think that kind of magic will exist. And as you see, all the favorites already won these first 4 matchups. And so, yeah. See, I'm not going to be as bold as I was last year. I think I was pretty bold on some of these. This year, I'm actually just going to go with genuinely who will probably win it. Then we got Maryland and Belmont or Temple. Now that one is tricky. I think Maryland will win that. That could be a loss, but I think Maryland will win. LSU and Yale. I will go with LSU. See, I haven't picked one upset yet. That might actually be a very terrible decision, but right now, I'm going to go with LSU. By the way, if you guys want to know about that coin flip bracket, I'm not actually going to be doing a video on that. That one I'm going to do on my own spare time, but I'm going to do this bracket for you guys, and then I'm going to leave you links to know how to do this yourself. Then we got Louisville and Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota, I think, made a heck of a run in the Big Ten tournament, and that's how they got in. And honestly, a lot of people haven't, I don't know if a lot of people have been picking Minnesota, but I think, honestly, from the hype I've been hearing about Minnesota, I will pick Minnesota. Even though that could actually end up being a terrible idea. I will pick Minnesota to win that game. And although Michigan State has had bad luck with the 2 seed before, because they were once the 2 seed, and I expected them to win, they absolutely got demolished by Middle Tennessee State. But I have faith this time that they can win it. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I got faith. I got faith. And then in the West, we got Gonzaga. Okay, I don't even know who any of those teams are, but I'm going Gonzaga. No, I'm just going to go. I'm not picking the favorite. Obviously, I didn't pick all the favorites because the Louisville and Minnesota already points that out that I didn't pick the favorite because I already picked 10/7, which is, by the way, an underdog. But yeah, I'm picking Minnesota over Louisville. Syracuse and Baylor. Now, that's a tough one. I really haven't seen Baylor play. I know Syracuse is usually pretty good, but I can't just say right off the bat that they're going to win this game. You know what? For that, I just feel an upset coming on. I feel like the better team is not going to win this game, so I'm going to pick Baylor. I'm going to pick Baylor in that upset. I could be absolutely wrong, and I will cry if Baylor does not win this. Well, not really. I'm going to be very sad, but yeah, hopefully my instincts are telling me right, and Baylor will pull off that upset. I mean, in seeding, they're not too much different, but I bet Syracuse is just way better than Baylor. For some reason, I just see that. I haven't been watching too much basketball recently. I've watched a little bit of the conference tournament and, like, the late games of the season, and there are some teams that looked pretty nice. And let me tell you, LSU was one of them. Yeah, LSU and Virginia Tech were one of them. They both finished off pretty strong. I think LSU even had the 1 seed in the SEC. And then we got Marquette and Murray State. Now that one I think will be tough. Murray State, I think this is their second. I don't know if there's. Yeah, I think this is their second straight year in the tournament, and I believe ironically they were a 12th seed last year as well. Yeah. You know what, Murray State, I gotta go. I'm taking them in an upset. You know what, making 2 straight appearances at that same number, I just don't see them losing again. I'm taking Murray State. And then Florida State, okay, I'm taking Florida State there. Even though there might be a probable cause to take Vermont there. I don't think 12 and 13 are going to play each other. Let's think about how realistic. I mean, it's possible, so don't take me for my word there. But it's possible 12 and 13 could play, but it's not likely. So I'm going to take Florida State. Then Buffalo and either ASU or SJU. I assume ASU is Arizona State. Arizona State is great. So I don't know if this is Arizona State or a different ASU, but if it's Arizona State, actually, I'll be back in a second to see which Arizona State what ASU that is. Alright, guys, so I did figure out that is Arizona State, and they're playing St. John's tomorrow. Now, that's a toss-up. I think ASU, personally, will probably win that. And I think I'll take ASU, okay? Okay, now that's pretty bold considering how well Buffalo did last year. I think ASU is better than Buffalo. They had the 2 seed in their conference, and they got upset by Oregon. So, upsets can happen, and I don't really know if I can consider this an upset, but I think ASU is the better team, so I got to go with them. And another team that I completely doubted last year is Texas Tech. I think I had them losing in the first round, and they have the same exact seed, the 3 seed. Probably, this is the West. I think they were in the South last year, but anyway, Texas Tech, I'm taking them. I'm not even going to hesitate to pick them this time, because I know karma will come right back at me if I don't pick them, and they've looked really good as of recent, so I've got to take them. And also, Nevada, I got to take Nevada. They've looked awesome. I've got to take Nevada. And Florida, I just don't think Florida's good enough to compete with Nevada, honestly. Now, who's to say they won't win? I can't really say that, but let me tell you guys, first of all, I'm going Nevada because I trusted in them last year and it paid off. So I'm hoping the same thing will happen. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Nevada, and I'm pretty confident that they'll win. Michigan and Montana. Now this is another one where I could think about a possible upset. Michigan. I'm taking Michigan right off the bat. I think they're way too good to lose to Montana, and so therefore I'll give them that win. Virginia and Gardner-Webb. Now, Virginia. Once again, a number 1 seed playing a 16 seed. Now, Virginia is tough to figure out. I don't know if they're going to be the same Virginia we saw last year in the tournament, or if this is going to be the Virginia we've seen playing throughout the season. Something tells me that this Virginia is going to play a lot tougher this time because of how embarrassing that upset was last year, and so they don't want it to happen again, and they don't want to soil their history like that again. So I think I'll take Virginia, even though I think Gardner-Webb, because of what happened last year, has a very good shot to pull off this upset. I got to take Virginia. I don't think they want to soil their legacy like that again. Now we got Ole Miss and Oklahoma. Now that probably is a toss-up. Ole Miss, I don't know. Oklahoma, I don't know. Well, they were in the tournament last year, so let's just go with Oklahoma because they were in the tournament last year. I mean, I absolutely have no clue. I have no idea about either of those teams, but I know Oklahoma, obviously being a 9 seed, I remember they were a 10 seed last year, so they've definitely taken a step up from last year. So I'm going to take Oklahoma in that game over Ole Miss. Although Ole Miss could definitely win. I don't know. Don't disappoint me again, Oklahoma, because they did in the first round last year. Anyway, Wisconsin and Oregon. That is an iffy. I will skip over that right now, but K-State will definitely win that. Villanova will definitely win that. Purdue and ODU. Now that I do not know. Okay, I do not know. But hey, actually, okay, no, Mississippi State won. But I think we got a thing going on with the 12 seeds. Because I'm gonna take Oregon. I think we got something going on with the 12 seeds. We got Murray State over Marquette. We got Oregon over Wisconsin. Of course, there was that one outlier. Mississippi State gets through Liberty. There's the one outlier. Murray State over Marquette. And then Oregon over Wisconsin. I think we got a 12 luck number brewing up this year now. And Villanova is going to beat St. Mary's. Now, I don't know. I personally think Purdue is a better team. They probably should win this. But I got to go ODU, man. I'm going to pick random upsets at this point. Because I felt like I haven't picked enough upsets yet. So I'm going to have to start picking at some point. Purdue. So I'm going to pick ODU over Purdue, even though I think Purdue can beat them. And probably will. So I'm definitely taking a big chance here. I'm going to go ODU because you got to pick upsets. And let me tell you, the chances of me getting all this right isn't very good anyway. So why not just try and pick an upset? We got Cincinnati and Iowa. Now, this was football. This would be tough, but I think the clear answer is Cincinnati. Even though getting beat, I don't know if they got beat 2 or 3 times by Houston, but I know they got beat by Houston more than they beat Houston, at least. But I'm going to go Cincinnati. I have more faith in Cincinnati to win that game, so I'm going to take them to win. Tennessee, Colgate. And Tennessee, another team just like Texas Tech, I didn't put my faith in. I'm putting my faith in Tennessee. I'm putting my faith in Tennessee this time. And I will take Tennessee to beat Colgate. In the Midwest, we have North Carolina. I'm taking North Carolina, even though there's a good chance. Like I said, any 1 seed now. As of last year, we got to be on high alert with these 16 seeds now because it's obvious that they can now beat the 1 seed, apparently. The luck is now on their side a little bit. So, yeah, the luck is on their side a bit, so they're going to make it a lot tougher, but I still think all the 1 seeds will win. Utah State and Washington. Now that one is tricky. I'm going to skip that one because I don't know much about either of the teams. And Auburn and New Mexico State. Now remember, New Mexico State, I actually picked them to to pull off an upset against Clemson. I originally picked Clemson, but there were so many people talking about how this team had a good chance to pull off an upset. They were so disappointing. Now, do I think that they have a chance to beat Auburn? Yes, but Auburn won the SEC championship, for goodness sakes. They're winning this game. And then we got Kansas and Northeastern. Now, Kansas. A couple of weeks ago, I think I looked at a pre-bracket, and I actually picked Kansas to win. And right now, I'm not convinced Northeastern's beating them, so I'm not trying to say that they're going to go any other way. Yeah, I'm not trying to convince and say that it's going to go any other way, but, you know, there is definitely a good chance for an upset there. There's a good chance for Northeastern to win that, but guess what? Kansas is going to win. Say good. Whatever. Iowa State and Ohio State. Now, if you guys don't know, I live in the state of Ohio, and Ohio State would actually be is one of my favorite basketball teams. Guess what? I'm going with Iowa State because Ohio State defensively late in the game has just not looked great. They've found ways to make it really close, but they just can't win the game when the time matters. You know, they can play close games and they can almost beat you, but they can't beat you. So that's the problem with the Buckeyes. So I got to go with Iowa State. Houston, easy. I'm going Houston. Houston has looked absolutely fantastic this whole season. Now, of course, Georgia State, any given moment, could beat Houston. Yeah, Georgia State at any given moment could beat Houston, but yeah, it's not happening. They're not beating Houston. I think Houston is way too good and they'll win. Then we got Wofford and Seton Hall. Now, Wofford. No clue how their basketball program is, but apparently it's better than Seton Hall. I'm taking Seton Hall, though, because I know historically they've been a pretty good basketball team in these tournaments. And they've been able to make it past the first round, so I think having more experience than Wofford, they will find a way to win this. And by the way, with Utah State and Washington, I'm just going to pick the favorite, Utah State. I don't know really much about either team, so I'm just going to take Utah State. Now, Auburn and New Mexico State. What actually kind of convinces me to change that to New Mexico State is the fact that earlier I said that the 12 seed seems to be a dominant figure. Now, I'm not taking Liberty over Mississippi State. I have too much confidence that Mississippi State will win. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm switching it. You know what? Never mind. That confidence switched quickly because I have more confidence in Auburn than I do Mississippi State because they won the conference. Now, that doesn't mean anything. This could easily be an upset, but I think Auburn has a better chance to win than Mississippi State. So you know what? I'm going to switch that to Liberty. I'm going to give Liberty the win over Mississippi State. And now we have one more game left in the first round. And we have Kentucky and Abilene Christian. That should be pretty simple. I'm going to pick Kentucky. And so now, let's move on to the round of 32, or the second round of the tournament. Duke and VCU. Yeah, I'm not picking an upset yet. Duke. Liberty and Virginia Tech. I'm taking Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, way too good. I'm taking Virginia Tech. Now, Maryland and LSU. Now, that is a spine tingler there. Now, that one could go either way. I think Maryland is good enough to play against LSU. And I think I gotta go that upset. Even though LSU did have the 1 seed, they didn't win. They got upset. So I think the same thing's going to happen to them here with Maryland, and they will not survive. And once again, Minnesota or Michigan State whichever one survives is going to have to play another Big Ten opponent. We got Michigan State. By the way, they won the Big Ten tournament, so that's why they have such a high seeding. Then we got Minnesota, who gave it a good run. So I think that will be a really good game. And you know what? I'm pulling the trigger. Minnesota will get that upset over Maryland. Not Maryland. They'll play Maryland, but they'll get the upset over Michigan State, and they will make it to the Sweet 16. I just don't feel that how these tournaments have gone in recent years, I don't feel that Michigan State can make it far enough. I don't think they can make it past this point. And now in the West, I think Gonzaga is good enough to win that for sure. I think Gonzaga is good enough to win it, and they will win it. Whether or not it's Baylor or Syracuse, I think they will win either one. Now we got Murray State and Florida State. You know what? I feel a little bit of magic coming. I feel that they are going to be a Loyola Chicago. I'm taking Murray State. Although Loyola Chicago isn't in this tournament, I think they will be the Loyola Chicago of this tournament. And they will upset Florida State. And now we got Arizona State or St. John's against Texas Tech. I will go with... This one's tough. I think I will go with. I'll pull the trigger. I think ASU is gonna win that game, so I'll take ASU. I'll pull the trigger, and they will make it to the Sweet 16. Wait. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. You know what? I kind of have confidence. I think Texas Tech could win that game, and maybe might, but I would like to think that Arizona State will beat them. They got upset, but who cares? They're going to bounce back. I also said that about Auburn, but not Auburn. I also said that about LSU against Maryland, but guess what? Arizona State and LSU were pretty much in the same boat there. They both got upset when they had a pretty high seeding. Nevada and Michigan. Now, Nevada has a great chance to win this. That should be a really good game as well, just like the Michigan State-Minnesota game. This should be really, really interesting. And now, as confusing as this is, I kind of want to go Michigan. I kind of want to go Nevada. I kind of want to go both ways. You know what? Pulling the trigger. Nevada wins against Michigan. That may not be a good prediction because Michigan's looking for revenge, and they are on their revenge tour just like they were in football. But you know what? I like Nevada. I think they're just as good as Michigan, especially when playing on neutral court. And at the end of the day, I think I got to go with Nevada. Michigan has just not, they have just not finished out the season like they could have, and I think Nevada will finish strong and beat Michigan. Well, they won't finish strong yet because they're not even done, so they'll keep going. So yeah, but I'll take Nevada. Now we got the South, Virginia and Oklahoma. I got Virginia and K-State and Oregon. I got K-State. Now that's kind of way too obvious, but yeah, I'm going K-State. Villanova and Old Dominion. Sorry, Old Dominion, you're not going much farther. Then we got Cincinnati and Tennessee. You know what? I'm going to pull the trigger on another 7 seed. I think Cincinnati's good enough to not go on the road, but beat Tennessee. I think they're definitely good enough to make it to the Sweet 16 and beat Tennessee in the second round. So I got Cincinnati facing off with Villanova in the Sweet 16. By the way, Villanova I think they've been in the last 2 of 3 championships or something, or 3 or 4 maybe. I don't know, but Villanova is going to be very tough to beat, and I don't know if I want to go against them. They may not be a good team to go against, but I'll take my chances if I got to. Let's see, we got one North Carolina and Utah State. Actually, you know what? Wait, do I know what? Wait, I got all other 1 seeds. You know what? One of the 1 seeds are going down. Utah State will upset North Carolina, and they will move on to the Sweet 16. Now, Auburn and Kansas. Now, that is a good matchup. Now, I don't know who's going to win that because, like I said, I had Kansas making it all the way to the championship and winning it all. I had them winning it all just a couple of weeks ago. And now now there's actually very high consideration. I might just call them done right here and there. You know, because I don't know if I have enough confidence in them to beat Auburn, even though they're higher seeded. I don't know if I have confidence in them to beat Auburn. So I will actually come back to that as that stumps me. Now we got Iowa State and Houston. I think Houston is honestly just that good. I think Houston will win that game against Iowa State. And Seton Hall and Kentucky, as good as Seton Hall is, not as good as Kentucky in tournaments. I like Kentucky there. And for Auburn and Kansas, man, I don't know really. I really don't know. Actually, I'll be back in a second, guys. You know, from some news articles I just read within like the past minute, that's how quick it was for me. I read one news article and literally, Kansas is a pretty good pick to be upset early, and so just for that, I think Kansas will be extra motivated. I'll take Kansas. You know, I actually had very high consideration, and at first I was going to take Auburn, but now I think I have enough confidence in Kansas, knowing that they are being talked about like this. After all those seasons of being good, they've been good for several seasons now, probably the last close to 20 years probably. At least the last 15 years, they've been one of the powerhouses of college basketball. I think that they will win this just to prove everyone that they are wrong about their picks. So I think Kansas will win that. Guys, pick out on my screen. I will be back to finish this in a second. Yeah, there was a glitch on the screen, obviously, because I saw just the bracket completely mess up there. And so now we have Duke and Virginia Tech. Okay, right here I gotta go with the favorites. I gotta go with Duke, and I gotta go with Maryland. So there we go. 6-1. Just like in the NFL, if a 6 seed beats a 3 seed, in the divisional round, it's 6v1. And yeah, basically, even though I don't think Duke will win, probably not. Okay, I don't think Duke will win at all. But I do think they will definitely make it to the Elite Eight. Definitely. In the West, Gonzaga and Murray State. That Murray State Magic, I don't know how much longer it's going to last. It's going to keep going. They're going to upset Gonzaga. And they're going to go to the Elite Eight to play the winner of Arizona State and Nevada. Or St. John's and Nevada. Oh, if it's St. John's and Nevada, well, if it's St. John's and Texas Tech, I'm taking Texas Tech. Arizona State, I think Arizona State can definitely make it this far in the tournament. But unfortunately, Nevada will win this. I think Nevada, at the end of the day, is just way too good. And they will beat Arizona State in the Sweet 16. So now we have the South, Virginia and Kansas State. Now, when I said I'm not gonna go with the number 1 overall seed again, I wasn't meaning that I'm not gonna go with Virginia again. I was meaning that I'm just not gonna go with the best team. So it'd be this team up here, Duke. Duke would be the team that I wouldn't be going for, and so I'm not. But Virginia, I can. But guess what? I still think they're getting upset here. I think K-State will beat Virginia, and they will move on to the Elite Eight to play the winner of Villanova and Cincinnati. Now, once again, another very, very good game. I think Villanova and Cincinnati will be very competitive with each other. In the end, and this could be Tennessee as well. I think Tennessee just as well could be there, but I don't know if Tennessee, at the end of the day, can compete with Cincinnati because of how they've just played in these most recent games. Especially in that championship against Auburn, I don't know. And Villanova and Cincinnati. Okay. As much as I want to go Cincinnati here because I'm an Ohio kid, I was born and raised in Ohio. As much as I want to go with Cincinnati here, I gotta go with Villanova. as much as I want to pick Cincinnati because of how good I think they are, especially offensively. Well, defensively, they're pretty good too, but I think they're really good offensively. I got to take Villanova. Villanova just way too much experience in these tournaments, and they have always shined in them regardless of what seed they were. They've always found a way to shine. And they even upset Kansas when Kansas was a big favorite to win it all. And so they would win it all instead. So I got Villanova taking on Kansas State in that round. And now we have Utah State and Kansas. I got Kansas. Yeah, we have one seed left, and that is Duke. So surprisingly, the number 1 overall seed is the only number one team we have. And so yeah, now we're down to Houston and Kentucky. Now I remember last year. Kentucky didn't get upset until the Elite Eight when they played Kansas State. By the way, Kansas State much better than they were last year. But they didn't get beat until they got upset in the Elite Eight. And I kind of want to think that right now, but Houston's really good. This should be a very good matchup. You know, both of them have very similar U shapes too. I now just noticed. Both of their logos look very, very, very similar. And I don't know if I should go with Houston or Kentucky. But all I know is they will give Kansas a great matchup. They will give Kansas a great matchup. Whoever it is, whether or not it's Houston or Kentucky, they will give Kansas an elite matchup. Let's just say it's the Elite Eight for a reason. It will be an elite matchup between two great teams, Kansas versus Houston or Kentucky. And let me tell you, whoever wins that game may even make it all the way to the championship. I don't know. But right now, it's kind of a toss-up. Now, a big part of me wants to go with Kentucky because of the experience that they've had. And that they've had, they also just have not been able to win the big game. They have been able to make it as far as the Final Four within many times within recent years, and they have failed to get all the way. And now this is kind of early for me to pick the upset. I'm going Houston. I think Kentucky definitely will be the favorite in this one, no doubt. And I think they have a very good chance to win that and may even do so and make me sad. But I think Houston, at the end of the day, because of how Kentucky has fared in tournaments, they've been able to make it as far as the Final Four, just one game short of the big one. But they haven't been able to get there. That was the problem. They haven't been there, and it's probably been several years since they've gotten there. Now, that isn't to say they can't get there. I think they can definitely get there, no problem. But because of this big 64 team, you know, just big glob of 64 teams, you know, that kind of makes it hard to compete with everyone. And so that even raises your chances of getting beat higher. So I do think Kentucky's good and will compete, but I think Houston is the better team, and I will take them to win that game. And maybe not even better team, but I might just say the more energetic team because Houston has won a lot of games you wouldn't have thought so. You wouldn't have thought they'd beat Cincinnati twice this year. And that was crazy that they did so. So Houston has pulled off some crazy things. Not to say that Kentucky can't win this game. They most certainly will make it close. Even if Houston does win like I'm predicting, it'll probably be like within 5 points. May even need overtime or something like that. It's going to be crazy, that game. But I can't wait to see it. And I hope it happens. I hope both of these two teams meet in the Sweet 16 so we can see that. Enough of me talking about that. Let's move on to the Elite Eight in the West. Wow. You wouldn't have thought this low of a seed was going to actually make it to the Final Four. And guess what? Nevada, other than the fact that they got upset by the Ramblers, the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, They would have been there last year if they didn't get upset, because I think that was the Elite Eight when that happened. Well, I don't know if they were playing Kansas State. It was either the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight. Let me tell you, as magical as Murray State's run has been, I'm sorry, Nevada isn't going to lose to the same fate that they did last year. They're just not going to let the same fate occur as last year. They're going to just plow through this game, and I think Nevada might just win that big, knowing that, hey, Murray State is going to be really good coming into this. But we don't want to get beat. We want to make it to this Final Four. So we're going to beat you, and here we are, sitting in that Final Four. So now in the South, we got Kansas State and Villanova. Oh, and I completely missed Duke and Maryland up here. Well, what did I tell you guys about Duke? I'm not picking them to win it, and although they should probably overpower Maryland, I'm taking Maryland. I just don't think that with Duke's seed, they just will not have good luck, and they will not make it to the final. They will not make it to the Final Four. Although I think they have a good chance, they will not make it to the Final Four, knowing the luck of all these number one seeds. And as of the Elite Eight, none of them are alive. Do I even have any alive? Yeah, I have one alive in the Sweet 16. Well, two. Well, three. And now, as of the Final Four, none of them are going to make it to the Final Four. In the Sweet 16, I literally had 3 of 4 of them, I think. And now, I don't even have any going into the Final Four. Going into the Elite Eight, we got Duke, but then they'll get beat by Maryland like I'm predicting. So, that'll happen. And Nevada over Murray State. Because I think Maryland and Nevada, that will be a good game. Kansas State and Villanova. Now, this should be a good one as well. Now, I think I'm having a hard time picking this. I know Kansas State was able to upset Kentucky last year. Who, by the way, at the point they made it, were in the second chance bracket. They were expected to go all the way to the Final Four. But Kansas State was able to pull off that upset. And Villanova, and many times in recent years, has made it to the championship. So this one you got to contemplate about a little bit. This one is going to be very, very tough to pick for me. But as much as I want to go Villanova, I'm going Kansas State. Even though Villanova has made it back consistently many times. I don't even have them in the Final Four, shockingly. But Kansas State, after what they accomplished in last year's tournament, I think that they have what it takes to get to the Final Four. My Final Four is going to look very weird, by the way. Very, very weird. Nobody would have expected Maryland, probably. Nobody. Well, Maryland played Duke for one, that's why. And they upsetted them, obviously. Yeah, if that ends up being Minnesota or Michigan State, though, I think Duke will beat them. You know what? Now that I think about it, it's too hard for me to see Maryland beating Duke. You know what? We're just going to let it be Duke and Nevada. I think that will be a very nice matchup. You know what? I just do not have enough confidence in this Maryland team to beat Duke. I just don't have the confidence. As much as I want to keep Duke out of the Final Four just because I don't have them winning it all, just because that's not a good idea, I don't have enough confidence in Maryland to beat them. And although Maryland gave a pretty nice effort, they will lose by like 15 points because that's just how Duke is. And so, in the South, like I said, Kansas State, they are going to beat Villanova, shockingly, even though this really isn't an upset because they have the higher seed. Ultimately, a lot of people will probably see this as an upset, though. Yeah, a lot of people are going to see this as an upset because Villanova has consistently been able to make it back to that championship game. And then in the Midwest, we got Kansas. We got Houston. Now, Kansas might have been my pick maybe a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't know. I think it was 2 weeks ago I had them as my pick to go all the way. Sorry, Kansas, you're not going, and Houston's going to the Final Four. I think Houston's just that darn good to make it all the way. And Kansas, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? At least I had faith in you to make it all the way to the Elite Eight. Unlike some people, they're probably expecting you to lose in the first 2 rounds of the tournament. I have you making it all the way this far. As much as I really want to pick Kansas because of their experience, obviously, and the fact that they're a powerhouse in their conference, I got to pick Houston. Houston's team was just really good this year, and I think that they will be in this Final Four playing Kansas State. Now, that could very easily be Villanova, too, because Villanova, I would not be shocked if Villanova was able to beat Kansas State. That wouldn't be a shocker. If anything, I kind of see Kansas State beating Villanova to be an upset. But I trust that Kansas State can do that, and so I have them beating Villanova, and so they will be the 4 seed making it into that game. And so now we have the Final Four. We got Duke and Nevada. We got Kansas State and Houston. Now that will make for a very great Final Four. Because Duke and Nevada will both be competitive, and Kansas State and Houston will be very competitive. And I could just go with the favorite and say Duke and Houston will play each other in the national championship. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that's true at all. Okay, so right now, just remembering how this Nevada team played amazing offense with Cody Martin and all those dudes. And even though Duke has Zion Williamson back, even though they have Zion back, he doesn't to say he won't get injured in this tournament or he won't play worse in the tournament. And plus, I don't even think this guy has played before until this year. I don't know if he has or not. Don't quote me if I'm wrong there. But yeah, I don't watch much college basketball. I would, if he was a football player, I would have known better. But yeah, I only watch this around tournament time. Maybe maybe a couple weeks before that, maybe a week or two before that. But I completely missed the conference tournaments. I only saw a couple of games in the SEC championship, so that's about all I know. And that's why I thought Auburn had a good chance. And really, if Kansas doesn't make it to the Elite Eight in real life and they do get upset, I think Auburn will make it all the way in their place, but will ultimately lose to K-State. But regardless of what happens, I have this as my Final Four. And now, Nevada has some pretty tall monster dudes, but so doesn't Duke. I mean, all of these guys on this court are monsters, and I saw Nevada play their conference, destroyed their conference. Duke has struggled with their conference, so that's why I'm a little iffy about Duke. Because Duke has struggled with their conference before. And so that's why you got to be a little iffy about them, because they have struggled and they've lost. They've lost to Syracuse at home. They've lost to North Carolina twice. Man, countless times. Of course, I don't think Zion was there any of those times. Well, I think he might have been there in the last game against North Carolina on the road, but he wasn't the first time at home. But still, that just goes to show that even without their star player, they cannot win against the best of teams. And even if Zion Williamson is in this game, I gotta go Nevada. Nevada's going to the national championship to face the winner of Kansas State and Houston. Although most of you are probably thinking, "Oh, pick Duke, pick Duke." Like I told you, I'm not gonna make that same mistake again of picking a team that's favored heavily to make it, because just like last year, I remember picking Virginia to go all the way. And what happened? They didn't even make it through the first round, and in fact, got beat by about 20 points by the 16 seeds. So that just goes to show. I don't think that's happening with any of the 1 seeds this year. But I definitely think that that all of them will lose. None of them will make it to the championship. None of them will make it to the championship. You know what, guys? I paused the video for a second to just go back and fix something. I actually changed the North Carolina and Utah State game. I think I have more confidence in North Carolina, but what I did change is I changed Oklahoma and Virginia. I gave Oklahoma the win, even though I don't think they're really that great. I think they will upset Virginia just because of what happened last year. Now, I could be absolutely wrong. Wait. No, you know what? Never mind. I need to stick. You know what? I need to stop losing confidence, okay? I gotta have confidence. I gotta have confidence here that upsets are gonna happen. So you know what? Utah State will beat North Carolina. I'm not gonna back out of that. I'm not backing out of that. I was just so quick to change that, but you know why I'm so hesitant. Why I'm so quick to change all this is because I know I can get all this wrong very easily. And so I want to make sure I'm making the right decisions here. If I don't think Oklahoma can beat Virginia, then why am I picking them? If I think Utah State does have a decent chance to be able to beat North Carolina, why not pick them? Why? I keep contradicting myself. I'm so scared that I'm going to get it wrong. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing about this. You got to have a little bit of confidence there. Not only that, but it's up to luck. I mean, I have a very low chance of getting this right, but if Oklahoma does beat Virginia and North Carolina destroys Utah State, I'm going to cry because I was going to change that. And guess what? I decided not to. But, it's all about confidence because that's all that can save you in this tournament. That's all that can save you is confidence because all of this is based on luck pretty much. So you've got to rely on that to help propel you through this whole thing. Anyway, if I got this Final Four right, that would be crazy, but I doubt it. I doubt I will. Kansas State and Houston. Okay, I don't think that'll be as good as when they had to. Wow, I didn't think about this either. Houston beat Kansas and Kentucky. They beat Kansas and Kentucky. Wow. Now that is absolutely crazy. You wonder how they do that. They beat Houston. They beat Kansas and Kentucky, both in the same tournament. Now, you got to be pretty good if you can do that. Now, all you got to do is beat K-State. You know what? As much as I want to say that they're just going to be tired and worn down, so won't Kansas State. Kansas State's gotten quite a few upsets, too. You know what? I got my confidence in Houston. And it will be Nevada and Houston in the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament Championship. Okay, that was way too many words. But anyway, just to sum it up, the National Championship. So we have number 3 Houston against number 7 Nevada. That could very easily be Michigan as well. And I'm kind of surprised I'm picking Houston to go all the way like this, though, because I remember earlier they looked really great, but I didn't think that they'd be a championship team, but here I am putting them in my championship game. So here we are, and there I go. So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna pause the video because I'm gonna make this pick off camera. I'm not gonna look anything up, but I also have to think of the final score as well. So that's why I'm gonna pause the video. I'll see you guys once I have my decisions made. Okay, guys, now this wasn't super easy, but I decided I was going to take Houston by 8. Now, at first I had intervals of all the way up to 18 points, I think. I had Houston up at... I had Houston up by 17 or 18 points at one point, and now Nevada tries to come back and win the game, but their comeback attempt will be pretty short as they lose by 8 points, and so then they'll end up losing this, and Houston will win. Houston will be my upset pick, surprisingly, to win this tournament. Now, you guys might be thinking I'm snorting crack or something picking Houston, but anything can happen in this tournament, I'm telling you. literally anything. No one would have ever thought that Virginia would have lost by 20 points to UMBC or whatever they were called. But it happened, and they lost. So they paid the ultimate price, and I paid the ultimate price for picking them. So, sometimes we all just make these really stupid mistakes, and who knows, Houston might lose in the first round, or Nevada. They might both lose in the first round. But my hopes are that it doesn't happen, because I picked both of them to make it this far. Honestly, they both stood out to me and looked really good this season, so I think that they both have a good potential to get here. And honestly, I think they both will get here. There's a reason why I picked them, because this was my confidence bracket, and so I picked whoever I thought would make it all the way, and so I picked these two teams, and Houston ultimately will be who I'm taking to go all the way. Now, of course, I'm not done making brackets quite yet. I still have another bracket to make, the coin toss bracket, where I will flip a coin 3 times. The best 2 out of 3 is who I will pick to win that matchup. And so, yeah, but of course, like I said, I'm not doing a video on that. This was already over 50 minutes, so I don't think I need to be making any more videos on this. And, if I win, I'll do a video on it. Sure, why not? But you probably won't be seeing another basketball video until what? I don't know. Until maybe October. You might not be seeing another basketball video until October. Not college basketball, but just basketball in general, because I'll be doing the NBA predictions at that point. But, yeah, this will most likely be it that you see of any basketball content on this channel for a while. Of course, probably until October, November, but that's still 7 or 8 months away. So you'll be free of probably a lot of sports content for a while, as this is one of the last major things that really happens in sports. Until, of course, like the NFL predictions, which will be in probably 3 or 4 months. So you still got a while before there's any more sports content, so it'll probably be dormant with that. But I'm a gaming YouTuber, so I really don't do much of that anyway. I only do it, for fun. I really don't care about getting it all right. I kind of just predict it for fun. I do analyze it, but of course I'm not out for blood when I predict. I'm not trying to get anything right. I mean, I would love to, but of course, also, there's no problem with getting anything wrong, because I know that I'm not perfect and I'm going to get things wrong. But of course, I don't really care about that, because, like I said, I'm a gaming YouTuber. I don't specialize in that. I do like to be accurate with my predictions, but of course that doesn't matter, because, like I said 2 times already, I'm a gaming YouTuber, and I don't specialize in predicting on my channel. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, why not like this video and subscribe for gaming content, obviously, not sports content regularly, but, if you want to see gaming content, please subscribe. And if you like this video, you want to see more sports videos in the future, why not just comment, tell me what you want me to talk about. If you're going to say NHL or some kind of soccer league, I'm probably not going to. Baseball, you'd be lucky to really see me make any of those videos. But if you really want to see a baseball video that bad, just comment below, and I'll be sure to try whatever I can do, because you are my subscriber, and therefore I need to care. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. Peace.